Hey lovely viewers, welcome to our channel Grey's Anatomy Official. Grey's Anatomy explosion casualty revealed. Departing actor speaks about getting the news, character's death scene, favorite episode, and more. Following the massive explosion at the end of the season 21 finale, Grey's Anatomy fans had been bracing for the worst. Their fears were realized by the trailer for the season 22 premiere, which confirmed there were fatalities, with several surgeons unaccounted for. While Link, Chris Carmack, came very close to dying from his injuries, in the end, it was Dr. Monica Beltran, Natalie Morales, who passed away after being pinned to the wall of an OR by surgical equipment. But not before she saved another patient's life by guiding Jules, Adelaide Kane, through the surgery of a boy the two had been operating on at the time of the blast. By the time rescuers finally got to them, it was too late for her. Natalie is such an incredible performer. Incredible actor. I loved working with her, and I hope to work with her again one day, Grey's Anatomy executive producer / showrunner Marinus said in a season 22 premiere post-mortem interview. Sitting at the monitors during those scenes when we were filming in the OR, I cried even when she wasn't on camera. Morales joined Grey's Anatomy early in season 20 as brilliant pediatric surgeon Monica Beltran. She had recurred since. The season 22 premiere marked her fatalistic 13th and final episode. During her Grey Sloan tenure, Monica became known for her innovative surgeries and compassion for her patients, not so much for her personal life which, besides brief episodes with Amelia and Winston, was largely romantic entanglement-free. In an interview with Deadline, Morales shared how she found out about Monica's demise and what her reaction was, discussed filming what became her first career death scene, including practicing her death face, and reflected on Monica's heroic final minutes. She also reminisced about her time on the show and revealed her favorite episode. For a deep dive on the premiere's big developments and what to expect from season 22, read our interview with Moranis. It was obviously a mix of things. I've been so lucky to be a part of this show, and I feel very grateful to have been a part of it. I think the fandom of this show has been so kind to me and so welcoming, and I think those people that have been welcoming to me are going to be pissed. I'm sorry about that. But I also think that Meg is an incredibly talented writer and showrunner, and I will say one of the best people I've ever worked with, truly. She was so kind and so on top of it all the time that when she told me the plan, I was like, oh, that feels right. I get why you're doing that, and it makes sense to me. Although I'm sad about it, it really works for the story. It wasn't as comfortable as you would think. I will say they did try to make me as comfortable as possible. Originally, when I heard about it was like, great, I'll be sitting the whole time. But no, I don't recommend being pinned to the ground for 2 days straight. How did you approach the scene? I approached it the way that I always do, which is truly my favorite part about working on Grey's. Working with the medical advisors Michael Metzner and Lindis Klein, who are incredible, just asking these people who are real doctors and real medical professionals what will happen. Every time we did surgeries on that show, it was either the person who had invented the surgery was there to show us how to do it, or the person who had invented the tool that we were using was showing us how to do it. It was so cool to learn how they do these things. I was very interested in that part of it. So for me, it was really important to play it honestly from a medical perspective and be like, well, what's happening here? Why does she die? When does she start dying? How is she pinned to the wall, but then when she moves, that's when she starts internally bleeding? How's that going to affect her? And how can we portray that so that on second watch you can tell what happens, but on first watch, you don't really know when she's dying and what shifted? Michael and Linda were always such North Stars for me in everything that we did, but particularly in that episode. I don't think I've ever died in anything before. I mean, I've been dead, but I don't think I've died in anything, so that was interesting for me to do. I did also have to practice my death face. Well, realistically, maybe my mouth would be hanging open, but I don't know that I want to do that on television, so I had to make it real, but not to. And so it was interesting from a technical point of view on all those fronts to get to do that. I wish that all doctors were like the doctors of Grey's Anatomy, who really care about their patients so much. I don't mean to talk badly about the medical community, because I know that most doctors are like that. But there are some that I have seen, that my friends have seen, that my family have seen, that I wish cared a little bit more. I think that that's such an aspirational and beautiful thing to go, wow, this is a doctor who is always putting her patients first. And there's a certain point in the scenes where she goes, oh. She knows she's not going to make it, but she knows she has to talk Jules through it, because somebody has to make it out of here, and that she's going to do that till the second she dies, which is literally what happens. I love being able to show that because I know that there are people in the medical profession who would do exactly that. When I first got hired, they said it was going to be 3 to 5 episodes, so I didn't know what it was going to be. I'm lucky that it was more than that. I'm excited that I got to do more than that. There were a lot of really fun moments, and a lot of interesting moments for me in learning how to do medical stuff. Like I was saying, that was the really interesting part. Not that I'll raise my hand on an airplane if someone needs a doctor, but I do feel like I have a new respect for surgeons. I never, ever in my life had any interest in doing it, and now I kind of do a little like, oh, this is interesting. What will you miss the most about being on the show? They have such a great crew. Truly, the crew is the backbone of that show. The film and TV business is glamorous in some ways, but really it's a tight-knit family of people that work really, really hard and love what they do. To me, the crews are always the best part. I got to work with an amazing cast. The writers were all wonderful, and the directors that I worked with were great. So really, it's the people that I will miss more than anything. Do you have a favorite episode? I think I liked the episode where Winston gave me somebody's lingerie that was not mine. I liked that episode because I got to be funny in that one. That was fun to do. Grey's Anatomy kills off character in shocking season premiere. One of the show's doctors died following an explosion in the operating room. Warning: major spoilers ahead for the season 22 premiere of Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy kicked off season 22 with a shocking casualty. The ABC medical drama returned on October 9th and wasted no time diving right into the action-packed episode. Back in May, viewers were glued to their screens during the season 21 finale when an explosion rocked the operating room. As the new season commenced, fans of the show were eager to see if any of their favorite characters were injured or killed. During the season premiere, fans see Atticus Link Lincoln, Chris Carmack, who is currently expecting twins with his wife, almost succumb to his injuries. In the end, though, he makes it out alive. However, Dr. Monica Beltran, Natalie Morales, wasn't as lucky. As a result of the explosion on the operating floor, she was trapped between a wall and surgical equipment, unable to escape. Despite her dire condition, Dr. Beltran coached her intern Jules Millen, Adelaide Kane, through the rest of the surgery and saved a patient's life. At the end of the procedure, Jules looked over to Dr. Beltran and noticed that she wasn't responsive anymore. When the rescuers finally arrived, they realized they were too late to save the doctor and that she had died. Morales, who joined Grey's Anatomy in season 20, sat down with Deadline to reflect on her tenure on the show and said she first learned that her character had died when producers called her back for this season. I got the phone call to come back and I said, "Oh, I thought maybe she would have died." And then Meg was like, "Well, I have something to tell you," she said of her conversation with the show's executive producer and showrunner Meg Marinas. Morales said she felt a mix of things when she learned of her character's fate. Grey's Anatomy boss on the season 22 premiere, how often Ellen Pompeo will be on in Killing, spoiler. After that or explosion, this interview contains major spoilers from Only the Strong Survive, the season 22 premiere of Grey's Anatomy. Death strikes at Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital once again. In May, after she decided to blow up the hospital's floor again in the final moments of the season 21 finale, Grey's Anatomy showrunner Meg Marinas said that every character, other than protagonist Meredith Grey, Ellen Pompeo, and Ben Warren, Jason Winston George, could potentially be on the chopping block heading into the 22nd season's October 9th premiere, which picks up in the immediate aftermath of that explosion. Eagle-eyed viewers waited with bated breath as they pored over photos and teasers from the new season to see which characters they could safely rule out from the death count. There were a few doctors, however, who were suspiciously MIA. Dr. Atticus Link Lincoln, Chris Carmack, who had just gotten married to and was expecting twins with Dr. Joe Wilson, Camilla Luddington, Dr. Jules Millen, Adelaide Kane, and Dr. Monica Beltran, Natalie Morales, who were operating on a young patient, and Dr. Lucas Adams, Nico Taro, who was on his way to inform Dr. Richard Weber, James Pickens Jr., about the presence of flammable gas on the floor. When you sit down to tell a Story, you think about everybody who we saw that was in danger, and you go through the chain reactions if you did kill that character off and who that would affect and how that would help or derail the next season for us. Marinus tells Variety. Obviously, I didn't want to kill anybody. It's not a fun thing to do. It's just sometimes where the story leads. Those decisions are extremely difficult. They're painful because not only do you love the character, but you love working with the actor. It could have been any of the people that were on that floor. We had discussions about everybody. The jam-packed premiere follows 3 main storylines. Meredith opens up the clinic next to the hospital and, with the help of Dr. Simone Griff, Alexis Floyd, and a new class of interns, treats patients, including an intern who has been injured in the blast. After being unable to move an operating light that had fallen on her pelvis, Beltran walks Millen through the rest of the pediatric surgery. Then his wife Dr. Miranda Bailey, Chunder Wilson, Dr. Winston Diggu, Anthony Hill, Dr. Owen Hunt, Kevin McKidd, and Dr. Teddy Altman, Kim Raver, work together to save Link, who has been crushed underneath a piece of the ceiling. In the end, Marinus decided to kill off Beltran, who dies of internal bleeding due to her injuries. I made the decision on Monica as I was sitting down to write those scenes between her and Jules, explains Marinus, who had yet to kill off a doctor since stepping into the role of showrunner in season 20. I always knew that I wanted her to guide Jules through a surgery. But as the scenes started to be written, it became clearer and clearer that that was the way the story wanted to go. In the conversation below, Marinus elaborates on her decision to kill off Beltran and how that character's death will have lasting effects on Millen, Dr. Amelia Shepard, Katerina Scorsone, and even Link. How involved Meredith will be in the rebuilding of her home base after she had just committed to returning to Grey Sloan on a more regular basis, what she has in store for the rest of her very large ensemble cast, and what to expect from the show's landmark 450th episode, which airs on October 16. How did Natalie Morales react to the news that you were killing Beltran off, and what kinds of conversations did you have with her about crafting her character's final scenes in the premiere? I had to make a very difficult phone call to her, and she's an absolute professional, though. She's a writer and director as well as being an actor. She understands story, and she just wanted to make sure that we made it the best story possible. We walked through every scene together. She gave me her notes, and I talked about what I was thinking when and where. Those 2 days were really hard to film, because not only was her performance heartbreaking, but we were all sad to see her go. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.